Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about something deeply human, something we all crave, yet so often misunderstand. Love. We live in a world where love is chased like a prize, like a trophy to be won. We spend time, energy, and emotions running after it, hoping that if we try hard enough, we'll finally catch it. But here's the truth. Love is not something you chase. Love is something you attract. When you chase love, what you're really chasing is a feeling, a fleeting moment of validation, a temporary sense of belonging. But chasing never works. It leaves you exhausted, anxious, and often alone. The more you run, the further love seems to slip away. Love is often misunderstood as something to be chased, something to be hunted down or earned through relentless effort. We grow up believing that if we just try harder, put ourselves out there more, or seek approval from the right people, love will finally be ours. But this way of thinking creates a cycle of frustration and disappointment, because love is not a prize at the end of a race. Love is not about the chase. Instead, love functions more like a magnet. It attracts, it draws in, it pulls toward itself what resonates with its energy. Imagine a magnet for a moment. It doesn't run around desperately trying to grab iron filings. It simply exists, radiating a natural force that pulls things toward it. That magnet doesn't strain or worry if something will come close. The power is in its presence, in its ability to create an invisible field that draws things near. Love works in much the same way. It is not a prize you win by exhausting yourself. It is an energy you embody, a state of being that invites connection naturally and effortlessly. When you stop chasing love, you stop acting from a place of lack and fear. Chasing is often born out of the belief that you are incomplete without someone else. This feeling of incompleteness can cause you to pursue love with desperation, hoping it will fill the void inside. But chasing love like this is like running after your own shadow. No matter how fast you run, it remains just out of reach. It leads to anxiety, insecurity, and a constant need for reassurance. It pushes people away rather than draws them in. On the other hand, when you shift your mindset and begin to embody love as a magnet, you change the entire dynamic. You stop running and start standing firm in your worth. This means embracing who you truly are, your strengths, your quirks, your vulnerabilities, without apology or pretense. When you do this, you emit a kind of energy that is magnetic because it is authentic. People are naturally drawn to authenticity because it signals safety, trust, and realness. No one wants to connect with someone pretending to be someone else or trying too hard to impress. What attracts love is the confidence of being comfortable in your own skin. Being a magnet for love also means cultivating self-love and respect. Oh, respect. The way you treat yourself sends powerful signals to the world. If you are kind, patient, and nurturing toward yourself, others will sense that energy and respond in kind. Conversely, if you are harsh, self-critical, or desperate for approval, those vibrations are harder for love to stick to. Love wants to connect with someone who feels whole, not someone who feels needy or incomplete. This isn't about perfection. It's about embracing your humanity fully and showing up as your true self. Moreover, when love is a magnet, it attracts people and experiences that align with your values and purpose. You begin to notice that the right relationships come naturally without forcing or manipulating. You stop wasting energy on trying to change yourself to fit someone else's ideal or chasing after people who don't value you. Instead, you attract relationships that nourish and support you because they resonate with the energy you put out. This is the power of attraction. It works when you live your truth and stand firmly in your own light. It's important to understand that this magnetic energy isn't something you fake or manufacture. It grows from a place of inner work and self-awareness. It requires patience and practice to cultivate confidence, compassion, and authenticity. It also means letting go of the need for immediate results and trusting the process. Love cannot be rushed or forced. It happens in its own time. And when you embody a magnetic presence, you create space for it to enter your life naturally. Ultimately, when you stop pursuing love as something to be captured, and instead become a magnet for love, you transform not just your relationships, but your entire life. You begin to attract people who see you for who you truly are, who appreciate your worth, and who want to build something meaningful alongside you. Love then becomes a powerful force that grows from connection, respect, and mutual understanding, not from chasing or desperation. So remember this: love is not a pursuit. It's a magnet. The power is not in how hard you chase, but in who you are when you stand still. Cultivate your own magnetic energy through authenticity, confidence, and self-love, and love will find its way to you, naturally, effortlessly, and beautifully. Attraction is often thought of as something mysterious, almost magical, something that happens when two people simply click. But if we look deeper, we realize that true and lasting attraction is rooted in one simple yet powerful principle: authenticity. Authenticity is the foundation of real connection. It's the essence of who you are when you strip away the masks, the pretenses, and the expectations imposed by others or by society. When you are authentic, you attract not just anyone, but the right people who appreciate you for your true self. In a world that often pressures us to conform, to fit a certain image or mold, being authentic can feel risky. It means showing up exactly as you are, with all your strengths and vulnerabilities laid bare. It means speaking your truth, even when it's uncomfortable. It means living according to your values rather than chasing approval or trying to please others. And yet, it is precisely this kind of authenticity that creates a magnetic force in relationships and in life. When you are authentic, you send a clear and honest message to the world. You communicate that you know who you are, what you stand for, and what you want. This clarity is incredibly attractive because it removes ambiguity and uncertainty. People feel safe and drawn to those who are genuine, because genuine people create a space where others can be themselves too. Authenticity invites vulnerability, and vulnerability creates intimacy, a kind of deep connection that forms the foundation of meaningful relationships. On the other hand, when we wear masks or pretend to be something we are not, we create distance. We might attract attention temporarily, but it is usually superficial and fleeting. Masks prevent others from truly knowing us, and without that true knowing, real connection is impossible. This is why relationships based on false pretenses or trying to impress others rarely last. They lack the substance that authenticity provides. Authenticity also means embracing your imperfections. No one is perfect, and trying to hide flaws or pretend they don't exist only leads to exhaustion and dissatisfaction. When you accept yourself fully, including your quirks, mistakes, and vulnerabilities, you allow others to do the same. This mutual acceptance is the soil in which trust and love grow. It is much more attractive to be real, flaws and all, than to present a polished but hollow version of yourself. Being authentic requires courage. It means risking rejection and judgment, but it also means opening the door to genuine connection and love. When you choose authenticity, choose to be seen fully and to see others fully as well. This openness creates an energy that is magnetic because it resonates with truth. People are naturally drawn to those who live authentically because it feels refreshing and inspiring. It reminds them they too can be themselves without fear. Furthermore, authenticity is not just about honesty with others. It starts with honesty with yourself. To be authentic, you must know who you are and what matters to you. This requires introspection, self-awareness, and sometimes the willingness to challenge the stories you tell yourself. It means identifying your passions, your boundaries, and your purpose. When you align your actions and your life with your inner truth, you radiate an energy that cannot be faked. This alignment creates confidence, and confidence is one of the most attractive qualities a person can have. Authenticity also frees you from the exhausting game of people-pleasing and chasing external validation. When you no longer rely on others to define your worth, you become whole in your own right. This wholeness is magnetic because it signals that you are not dependent on others for your happiness. Instead, you offer love, respect, and kindness from a place of abundance rather than need. Ultimately, attraction that begins with authenticity leads to relationships that are deep, fulfilling, and sustainable. It allows you to build bonds based on mutual respect and genuine understanding. When you are authentic, you invite others to do the same, creating a space where love can flourish naturally and beautifully. So if you want to attract love, connection, and meaningful relationships, start with one thing: be authentic. Show up as your true self, unapologetically, and with courage. Embrace your uniqueness and your imperfections. Speak your truth and live your values. When you do, you won't just attract anyone. You will attract the right people who see, appreciate, and love you for who you really are. Love is often misunderstood in today's world as something to be owned, controlled, or possessed. We hear phrases like my partner, my love, or my relationship, which subtly suggest ownership. This mindset can lead us to approach love with the wrong intention, seeking to hold on tightly, to control, or to claim the other person as if they were an object rather than a human being. But at its deepest core, love is not about possession. Love is about connection. It is about two whole people coming together to share a bond based on respect, trust, and mutual growth. Possession implies control and ownership, and control is fundamentally incompatible with love. When you try to possess someone, you are trying to limit their freedom, their individuality, and their ability to be themselves. This need to control often comes from fear of losing the person, fear of loneliness, or fear that the love will disappear if you don't hold on tightly. But love built on fear and possession is fragile. It breeds resentment, insecurity, and distance. It turns relationships into power struggles rather than partnerships. Connection, on the other hand, is expansive. Connection is about opening your heart fully to another person while allowing them to be free. It is about honoring their individuality and encouraging their growth, just as they support yours. When love is rooted in connection, it is an exchange of energy and emotion that enriches both people. It's not about what you can take or hold, but about what you can share and create together. True love thrives in a space where both people feel safe to be themselves without fear of judgment or loss. This safety comes from trust, a trust that the bond is strong enough to survive distance, disagreement, and change. Connection is nurtured by communication, empathy, and understanding. It grows when you listen deeply and validate each other's feelings and experiences. This kind of connection requires vulnerability, the willingness to show your authentic self and to accept the other's authentic self. Possession often blinds us to the real beauty of connection. When we see love as ownership, we may try to change or mold the other person to fit our desires. We might become jealous, suspicious, or controlling. But connection allows space for growth and change. It recognizes that people evolve over time, and love must be flexible enough to evolve with them. When love is a connection, it becomes a living, breathing relationship that adapts and deepens. Moreover, connection honors equality. It is not about one person dominating or depending entirely on the other. It is about two whole individuals who come together to build something greater than themselves. Each person maintains their own identity and autonomy while sharing a profound bond. This balance creates respect and admiration, which are essential ingredients for lasting love. Possession can lead to codependency, where one or both people rely too heavily on the other for their happiness or self-worth. This dependence can feel suffocating and ultimately harmful. Connection encourages independence within intimacy. It supports each person's dreams and passions and celebrates their achievements. In connected love, you are each other's biggest fans, not captors. It's important to recognize that connection is not passive. It requires effort and intention. Building connection means prioritizing time together, engaging in meaningful conversations, and being emotionally present. It means working through conflicts with kindness and patience. It means choosing love every day, not as a possession to be guarded, but as a connection to be nurtured. When love is rooted in connection rather than possession, it transforms how you experience relationships. You no longer fear losing the other person because you know that your bond is built on something deeper than control or need. You trust that love will endure through challenges because it is based on genuine understanding and care. You give freely without keeping score because connection is about mutual giving, not taking. In this way, love becomes a source of freedom and joy, not restriction or anxiety. It becomes a partnership where both people grow individually and together. Love rooted in connection invites you to open your heart fully, to be vulnerable, and to embrace the messy, beautiful reality of human relationships. So if you want to cultivate love that lasts, remember this. The root of love is connection. Focus on building bonds of trust, respect, and empathy. Celebrate the uniqueness of yourself and your partner. Let go of control and embrace freedom. Coach, when love grows from connection, it becomes a powerful force that enriches your life and brings true fulfillment. Confidence and desperation are two powerful energies that shape how we relate to others, especially when it comes to love and attraction. Though they might seem subtle, they have a profound impact on the kind of connections we create and sustain. Confidence fuels attraction because it signals to others and to ourselves that we are whole, worthy, and secure. Desperation, on the other hand, pushes people away because it reveals insecurity, neediness, and fear. Understanding this dynamic can transform how we approach relationships and, more importantly, how we see and value ourselves. Confidence is magnetic because it reflects a deep sense of self-assurance. When you are confident, you carry yourself with a quiet strength that says, "I know who I am, and I am enough." This doesn't mean arrogance or boastfulness. It means a calm, grounded belief in your own worth that doesn't depend on external validation. Confidence comes from self-awareness, self-respect, and the willingness to embrace both your strengths and your imperfections. It's about accepting yourself fully and knowing that you deserve love and connection just as you are. This kind of confidence is attractive because it creates a sense of safety and stability. People are drawn to those who don't need them to complete or fix them, but rather share their lives as equals. Trust. Confidence allows you to engage authentically, without fear of rejection or judgment, which invites others to do the same. When you show up confidently, you open the door to genuine connection because you're not hiding behind masks or desperate behaviors. Desperation, in contrast, is born out of fear and scarcity. It's the feeling that you are incomplete or not enough. So you cling to any chance of love or approval with an almost frantic intensity. This can manifest as neediness, excessive texting or calling, over-pleasing, or trying too hard to impress. While it's natural to want connection, desperation sends a message that you are lacking something essential and that your happiness depends entirely on the other person's response. This energy is unattractive because it signals insecurity and dependence. Instead of inviting others in, it often pushes them away because it creates pressure and discomfort. Desperation can also lead to poor decision-making in relationships. When you feel desperate, you may settle for less than you deserve, tolerate disrespect, or ignore red flags because the fear of being alone feels worse than anything else. This mindset traps you in cycles of unhealthy relationships and repeated heartbreak, further eroding your confidence and self-worth. It becomes a vicious cycle that's hard to break. To break free from desperation and cultivate confidence, you must start with how you see yourself. Confidence grows when you invest time and energy into your own growth and well-being. This means pursuing your passion, setting boundaries, and practicing self-care. It means learning to enjoy your own company and recognizing that your worth is not dependent on another person's approval. Approval. When you nurture yourself, you build a foundation of strength that no external situation can shake. Another key aspect of confidence is embracing vulnerability. Not as weakness, but as courage. Being confident doesn't mean you are perfect or never afraid. It means you are willing to show up even when you feel uncertain or exposed. This vulnerability creates authenticity, which is the heart of real attraction. People respond to genuine openness far more than to polished facades or desperate attempts to be liked. Confidence also requires patience and trust in the process. It means believing that the right connections will come in time, without forcing or chasing them. When you trust that love will find you because of who you are, not because of how hard you try to grab it, you shift from a place of scarcity to a place of abundance. This abundance mindset is incredibly attractive because it radiates peace, joy, and security. Ultimately, confidence fuels attraction because it reflects a healthy relationship with yourself, a relationship based on respect, love, and acceptance. Desperation repels because it reveals a fractured relationship with self marked by fear and need. By cultivating confidence, you create space for love that is mutual, respectful, and fulfilling. So if you want to attract genuine love and connection, start with confidence. Stand tall in your worth. Embrace your authenticity. Trust in your value. Trust in your value. When you do, you become a powerful magnet for love, not because you chase it desperately, but because you embody it naturally. One of the most profound truths about relationships and attraction is that the energy and qualities you put out into the world come back to you. If you want to attract kindness, respect, and love, the best place to start is by becoming the kind of person who embodies those very traits. This shift from focusing outwardly on finding the right person to focusing inwardly on becoming your best self creates a powerful transformation in how you experience relationships and how others respond to you. When you focus on becoming the kind of person you want to attract, you take responsibility for your own growth and happiness rather than relying on someone else to complete you. This mindset creates a foundation of strength and wholeness because you are not looking for another person to fix your problems or fill a void. Instead, you show up as a complete individual who has cultivated qualities that naturally draw others in. People are attracted to confidence, integrity, empathy, and authenticity, all qualities that grow from intentional self-improvement. Becoming the person you want to attract starts with clarity. You need to get clear about the values, behaviors, and characteristics that are important to you, not just in a partner, but within yourself. What kind of person do you admire? What qualities inspire you? What kind of energy do you want to bring into a relationship? Once you have this clarity, you can begin to embody those traits in your everyday life. This is not about pretending or putting on a facade. It's about aligning your actions, choices, and mindset with your highest self. One of the key qualities to cultivate is self-respect. When you respect yourself, you set clear boundaries about what you will and won't accept. You no longer tolerate disrespect, dishonesty, or behaviors that don't serve your well-being. This sends a powerful signal to others about how you expect to be treated. People naturally gravitate toward those who have high standards for themselves because it suggests strength and integrity. Another vital trait is kindness, not just to others, but also to yourself. When you treat yourself with compassion and patience, you create a positive internal environment that radiates outward. Kindness invites kindness. When you embody empathy, you are more likely to connect deeply and meaningfully with others. The person you want to attract is someone who values genuine connection, so start by practicing that connection within yourself and with those around you. Authenticity is also crucial. Trying to be someone you're not in order to attract a certain person only leads to superficial relationships. Real attraction happens when you are true to yourself, flaws and all. When you stop hiding parts of who you are and start showing up honestly, you create space for others to do the same. This creates a foundation of trust and openness, which is the heart of lasting connection. Personal growth is a continuous journey, not a destination. It requires self-awareness and the willingness to reflect on your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. It means learning from mistakes, seeking feedback, and being open to change. When you are committed to evolving as a person, you send out a dynamic energy that is incredibly attractive. Growth shows that you value yourself and your life, and that you are willing to invest in becoming better, not just for others, but for yourself. Focusing on becoming the person you want to attract also means prioritizing your passions and purpose. People are drawn to those who have a zest for life, who are engaged in activities that bring them joy and fulfillment. When you live with purpose, you radiate confidence and happiness. This kind of energy is magnetic because it shows that you are whole and vibrant on your own, not dependent on anyone else for your happiness. Ultimately, by becoming the kind of person you want to attract, you create a ripple effect in your life. You raise your standards, deepen your self-love, and cultivate qualities that inspire others. This internal work transforms not only how you experience relationships, but also the quality of connections you form. Instead of chasing after someone else's love, you become a source of love yourself. In this way, attraction becomes less about luck or chance and more about intentional living. When you focus on your own growth and embody the qualities you admire, you naturally draw the right people into your life. People who resonate with your energy and who are ready to build something meaningful with you. So if you want to attract love, respect, and genuine connection, start with yourself. Focus on becoming the person you want to attract. Invest in your growth, embrace your authenticity, and live your values. When you do, love will follow not as something you pursue desperately, but as something that flows naturally to you. In the journey of love and relationships, patience and trust stand as two pillars that hold everything together. These qualities are often overlooked or underestimated in a world that prizes instant gratification and quick results. Yet, the deepest and most fulfilling connections require time to grow and space to breathe. Without patience and trust, relationships can become rushed, fragile, and prone to misunderstandings. Understanding why patience and trust are essential can transform how we approach love, helping us create bonds that last and thrive. Patience is more than just waiting. It's a mindset, a way of being that allows you to stay calm and steady in the face of uncertainty and delay. When it comes to love, patience means accepting that things don't always happen on your schedule. It means allowing relationships to unfold naturally rather than forcing them to meet your expectations or timelines. Patience encourages you to be present with the process, to appreciate the small moments of growth, and to give yourself and your partner the grace to evolve at their own pace. Rushing love can lead to overlooking important signs or settling for less than you deserve. It can create pressure on both people, leading to anxiety and unrealistic demands. Patience, however, creates space for clarity. It helps you see the relationship and the other person more clearly, without the fog of impatience or fear. This clarity allows for better communication, deeper understanding, and stronger foundations. Trust goes hand in hand with patience. To trust someone means to believe in their good intentions and in the strength of your bond, even when you can't see immediate proof. Trust is about having confidence that the relationship can withstand challenges and that both people are committed to growth and respect. Without trust, love becomes tentative and fragile, easily shaken by doubts and insecurities. Building trust takes time, and this is where patience becomes indispensable. Trust cannot be rushed or demanded. It grows through consistent actions, honesty, and vulnerability. It requires showing up authentically and being willing to be seen fully, even with your fears and imperfections. When you practice patience, you give trust the time it needs to develop naturally. You allow the relationship to deepen in a way that is sustainable and genuine. Patience and trust also work inwardly. You must cultivate patience with yourself, understanding that personal growth and healing take time. Sometimes fears and past wounds can make it difficult to trust again. But rushing to move past these feelings or forcing trust before you're ready only leads to further hurt. Being patient with yourself means honoring your own timeline and recognizing that emotional resilience builds gradually. Trusting yourself is equally important. Trust your intuition, your values, and your capacity to navigate love with wisdom. When you trust yourself, you are less likely to settle for unhealthy patterns or toxic relationships. You develop confidence that the right connections will come even if it takes time. The essence of patience and trust lies in faith. Not in a religious sense necessarily, but in faith in the process of life and love. It is believing that love is worth waiting for, that the right person will appear when the time is right, and that the connection you build will be meaningful and lasting. This faith allows you to let go of desperation and control, replacing them with calmness and openness. Patience and trust also foster forgiveness and resilience. In any relationship, misunderstandings and mistakes are inevitable. When you have patience, you are more willing to see beyond immediate frustrations and extend grace. When you trust, you believe in the other person's capacity to grow and in the strength of your bond to overcome challenges. Together, these qualities create a safe space where love can flourish despite imperfections. In a fast-paced world, practicing patience and trust can feel counterintuitive, but it is one of the greatest gifts you can give to yourself and to your relationship. It allows love to mature, deepen, and become a true partnership rather than a fleeting connection. It invites you to experience love with presence and acceptance rather than anxiety and fear. So if you want to build lasting love, start by cultivating patience and trust. Give yourself and your partner the time and space to grow. Believe in the strength of your bond, even when it's not perfect or clear. Trust the process, and know that love that is patient and grounded in trust will always be stronger and more fulfilling than love that is rushed and uncertain.